Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So guys, welcome. Today we'll continue on our series, Dawah series. This is episode 7. And today we're going to continue so that you understand these terms. Okay, these three persons and one being. This is what they tell us. Okay, so they want to tell us that this is monotheistic somehow. And we want to say no, it is not. So we need to understand what they mean by these terms, okay? And we have been exploring some of this, and if you've watched all the other episodes, I hope you already have some idea. And if you don't, I implore you to watch all of them from the beginning, okay? But even from here, we can give ourselves some to remember some things, okay? So we have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And by the way, we've not even talked about the persons yet. There are other things about the persons that you need to know. But for now, we are just discussing the three persons and one being, okay? So that we understand some of these things, okay? So we have the being here, okay? Now, see, if we are doing anything, it has to have a meaning. If there's no meaning to something, then it's not important. If something doesn't have meaning, it's not important, okay? Things that have meaning, then you can believe in something that has meaning. But if it doesn't have meaning, how can you even believe in it? So if you tell me three persons and one being and you don't know the meaning, you're just wasting my time, okay? So that is why they need to tell us the meaning. It's not on us, but we will show them there's no way they can get around this. Why? Because we understand what they are trying to do. They have hit a point where they don't understand it anymore, and we will clarify these things, okay? Now, this being now, is he a divine nature? What is it? What is this one being that is here? Okay? What is this one being? What most people will tell you is that this is the divine nature, okay? The divine nature. So what is divine nature? Divine nature is like all the things that you need to be God. So if you have divine nature, you are God. So God is the only one that has divine nature. In Islamic theology, we believe God is the only one and only that has divine nature. No one can even have it. You cannot be given to anybody. Because by definition, if you are given divine nature, you're not God. Because God cannot be given something. Okay? So many other things are like that. Okay? But this is the divine nature. Okay? So in this part, I will just show you some kind of arguments you can use. So if we are saying that this divine nature, okay, and the three persons, let me tell you the move they will make. Okay? So now, listen carefully. These persons, they say they are not the same. They are different from each other. Okay? Let me use this marker. Wait, sorry. They are different from each other. Okay? They are not the same. They are different. But they have the same being. Okay? They have the same being. So they are different in person and one in being. Okay? So what does it mean to be one in being? Okay? What does it mean to be one in being? That is what we are going to talk about today. All right? Now, we can start it off with some questions. So when we ask them, this person of the Father, for example, the person of the Father, does he have a nature? Okay? Does he have a nature or not? Okay? If we ask you, the Father, does he have a nature? Say, yeah, he has a nature. What is his nature? Does he have a nature, or his nature is the divine nature? Okay? Does he have a nature, or his nature is the divine nature? Very important question. Very, very important. Does he have another nature that is not the divine nature? Because why? A person has a nature. Every person has a nature. Okay? Remember that. Remember this quote I just told you, which will come in later actually. But let me just tell you right now. Every person has a nature. Okay? Every person has a nature. Okay? Every person has a nature. I don't know if this is actually the same. Let me be sorry guys. I don't know if this is the same for every. I'm learning probability or statistics this year, so I'm trying to use that sign there. So every person has a nature. Okay, so you cannot be a natureless person. There's no natureless person. Okay, understand what I'm telling you right now is actually very important. You will need it. Every person has a nature. So when you say 3 persons, they must have a nature. So the question is, what is their nature? Do they have a nature that is not a divine nature, such that can we have a father? What is the nature of the father? Is it the divine nature or not? When this red means is that I'm trying to show you that it's just this nature, the divine nature. Okay. So if the father now, does he have another nature like this black one? Or his nature is just the divine nature? If you say that he has another nature, let me show you what will happen. This will be the consequence. If you say he has another nature, it will be like this. Okay? And then this nature will be there. Such that he has 2 natures. The father nature and the human and the divine nature. You see what it took us? Let me just take a picture. Wait, let me write father nature before I take this picture. So in this case, this one will be the father nature. Okay. So does he have a father nature? Okay, whatever that is. Or his nature is just the divine nature. So if I ask you what is the father, you say God, because the divine nature is what makes you God. Okay, the divine nature is God. Okay, divine nature is what is God. Okay, so now if I ask you what, remember they say there are 3 who's. So if I ask you who is this, you say the father. What is the father? You have to say the divine nature. Okay, so he has to have that is what you say here. But if you don't believe that, you believe he has another nature, the father nature. Because he can only have one nature. You cannot have more than one nature. Okay? It's that you have a divine nature or you don't. Okay? Such that if you think he has many natures, fine, you can hold that view too. But the consequences will be this one I just showed you here. This will be the consequences. Such that we can even ask you which one is more fundamental. Is it the father nature that is more fundamental or the divine nature that is more fundamental? If you say it's the father nature that is fundamental, the father nature is not God. Okay? What is God is the divine nature. Such that the divine nature will be much more is what. So when the father without the divine nature will not be God. And do you see and it will be the father? Do you see the problem? Such that we can even ask many other questions later. But the point is I'm trying to show you here is that, see, most of them, this is what they will say. By the way, this is like a little bit deeper, but most of them, they will choose this one. Okay? Most people, they will choose this. Okay? They will not choose this. This is not something most people believe in. Okay? I'm just showing you any which way you want to think about it. We are ready with you. Any which way. Okay? Now, they are going to take this view that, wait, did I take a picture yet? Okay, let me take a picture. Okay, done. So, if you want to take this view of the father's nature, it's just the divine nature. Fine. Then, if this is what you're saying, then the Son and the Holy Spirit too. We'll ask them the same question. Do they have a nature? You say yes. What is their nature? The divine nature. The divine nature. That's why you are saying there are 3 divine beings, fully divine beings. So the Father is fully divine, the Son is fully divine, the Holy Spirit is fully divine. You see, that is what you are saying. And what does that mean? That means that since anything that has a divine nature is God. Okay? So if you have 3 different persons that have their own nature fully, then you have 3 gods. Right there. Polytheism. That is all you need to do, guys. I'm telling you, you need to just show them that see, you have 3 gods. Okay? Because the Father has his own fully. The Son has his own fully. The Holy Spirit has his own fully. You have 3 gods. Polytheism. Not the God of Abraham. Simple. You see that? Now, the other way, remember that language they use in Nicaea, right? Oh, sorry about that. The language they use in Nicaea, which we shown the last time, was this word called homoousios, okay? Homoousios. Okay, which means same nature. They have the same nature. So that is why you are saying one being here. They have the same nature. So if this is what you're saying, is this what you mean by same nature? Okay, this is one meaning. This will be like a universal, meaning it can be in many places at the same time. So you have one divine nature, but it's in many places. Okay, this will be like a universal. And then you have three gods. Okay, that's one. The second way is to say, see, look, they are sharing the divine nature. And some people actually say this. They are sharing the divine nature. So that if this is the divine nature, let's make it here. If this is the divine nature, you have, look at this. You have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay? Now, this one, in this situation, is different from this one. This one, each one has it fully. In this case, they cannot have it fully. Only when they are together. Okay? Only when they are together, they will have it. If you take only the Father, he cannot have full, because the divine nature, they are sharing it. None of them can have it fully. The only way they can have it fully is this one. If you choose this one, this is what they call partialism. Okay, this is partialism. Let me take this picture actually. This one actually is much more clear. Okay, this one is partialism. Okay, such that none of the persons is God. Okay, partialism. So that none of them is fully God. Only when they are together, they are God. Do you see that? That's the other one. But is this monotheistic? Definitely not. Okay? Because they are persons. Therefore, it's just worse. There's no way, by the way, I repeat, there's no way they can be one God here. Okay? There's no way. Unless it's modalism. In modalism, there are different ways modalism is. The only way monotheism can happen is if this divine being, this thing is real. If this is real and the persons are just modes, they're just ways of appearing, ways of manifestation, then it will be, and they are even different. So this one being is just manifesting as different modes. That is modalism, rejected by the church. But that would be monotheistic. But it might be wrong, but it is monotheistic at least. And also, if you say the Father is the Son and the Son is the Holy Spirit, they are the same person and one being, then it will be monotheistic. But if you hold that they are different, okay, and then they have a divine nature, each one of them having the full divine nature, you have polytheism right there. Okay, so in the next part, we're going to be talking about monotheism. Okay, so that we'll know what we're talking about here when we're talking about monotheism. What do you even mean by monotheism? Could this kind of idea be monotheistic? That's what we'll discuss in episode 8. So thank you guys. Go over what we've discussed. Remember guys. And wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.